Back in the mid-1990s, the Sega Genesis featured a host of great space shooter games. This included the Thunder Force games, Steel Empire, Truxton, and several others, each with their own strengths. The best shoot-'em-up game the Genesis offered, though, may well have been Musha. In Japan, Musha was called Musha Aleste, part of the coveted Aleste series of shoot-'em-ups produced by Compile. According to one account, the development team made a conscious effort to abandon the Aleste series' emphasis on science fiction in favor of a classic Japanese aesthetic for Musha. And man, what a great decision this turned out to be. Going with the Japanese flavor instead certainly made Musha stand out from almost every other shooter released at the time, and the game was absolutely a visual treat for a 1991 shooter. The title's levels are filled with unmistakable Japanese houses and buildings, imagery from the Japanese floating world from the samurai era, and even no mask enemies. The game isn't exclusively Japanese though, and there is some science fiction stuff thrown in for good measure. It's a great combination of themes. One of the biggest things that stands out about Musha is the awesome weapons. Here you'll find cannons of several different forms, lasers of varying widths, and an assortment of bombs. The boss enemies are also very well designed, and there are some areas where the player has to maneuver to avoid moving obstacles. It's everything you expect a game like this to be. Unlike many other space shooters of this era, you also get power-ups that allow you to fire supplemental weaponry horizontally while your main weapon continues to shoot vertically. Effectively, this gave the game complexity and added a new dimension to the gameplay, because you now had more freedom to destroy enemies without getting in front of them. I can't recall any other shooter at the time that did this, and it's a great idea that was incorporated into Musha. The game isn't as punishing and unfair as many of the space shooter titles from the era, which may be refreshing to some, but I actually think it's the game's only downside. I'm not the master at shoot-'em-up games, but I'd say this one veers on the side of being a bit too easy. There are some difficult projectile patterns to avoid, but overall, this game is a far cry from its difficult counterparts like, say, Eliminate Down. Musha has a crazy cousin of sorts in Space Megaforce for the SNES, which was called Super Aleste in Japan, also part of the same overarching series. Even though that game is much more like the other Aleste games, you can definitely pick out the similarities. It's also worth playing. The unique aesthetic and flavor, combined with its assortment of levels, firing patterns, and fun bosses, make Musha incredibly enjoyable. I think it's definitely one of the top 3 shoot-'em-up games on the Genesis, and it's absolutely worth playing today. If you liked this review and remember Musha, leave a comment below about the most memorable aspect of the game to you. If you like my videos, please subscribe to my channel and click the bell below to be alerted upon the addition of new ones. Also, please join my Discord community linked in the description. Consider supporting my channel via YouTube's Join feature to receive member exclusives, such as advanced videos and complete video transcripts.